Hey there YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more MC Eternal mod pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. Today we're going to go ahead and finish our angel rings. So last episode we went to the Betweenlands and went down into the Sludgeon Tower, all the way down into the Pit of Decay, and defeated the Sludgeon Menace and got our Ring of Dispersion. Which is the last piece that we sort of needed to get our hands on before we could craft an angel ring. So let's go ahead and get on that. I'm looking forward to some creative flight. So one of the things we had to do was, while that was the last sort of, tough thing we needed to do, or thing that I didn't know how to do that we needed to do, we also did need to make some Mekanism crystals. So here's the Ring of Dispersion that we got in the Betweenlands. Creative modifiers, we've gotten a few of those from quests. The Snow Queen trophy we got rampaging through the Twilight Forest about 3 or 4 episodes ago. A resonant thruster is just something you craft. It's not really that difficult. So basically all we really need is the ability to make Mekanism crystals. So let's talk about that. In between episodes I did set that up. So this is sort of a pain in that it's a multi-step function, and also it uses these particular Mekanism machines that are sort of a pain to work with because they're very sided. And by sided I mean they want their liquids and gases to go through very particular sides, which makes it difficult to arrange them in a organized fashion sometimes. But here's what we've got going on. We're starting with a chemical oxidizer, and that chemical oxidizer is taking sulfur and turning it into sulfur dioxide. Well, let me back up a second. I think I erroneously mentioned that this might not be too bad because I already have sulfuric acid as part of my calcium sulfate nuclear craft situation. Unfortunately, what I forgot was that this is liquid sulfuric acid from nuclear craft, and we actually need gaseous sulfuric acid from Mekanism. So sometimes you can convert them using the fluid dictionary. Oops. But if we look at the uses for sulfuric acid, really all we can do is continue to do nuclear craft reactions with it, fill things up, or, continue to do stuff with it. If we look at the industrial foregoing, fluid dictionary converter, and look at its uses, I've got one of these. I'm using it to convert industrial foregoing essence and liquid XP for cyclic, and essence of knowledge for thermal foundation. But if we look at the recipes here, unfortunately the liquid XPs of their various 3 types, essence of knowledge, and liquid XP, are all the available recipes in this mod pack for us for the fluid dictionary conversion. So unfortunately we do not have one that will change sulfuric acid from nuclear craft liquid into whichever one of these is liquid. That's another problem with this Mekanism thing, is that both the sulfuric acid gas and the sulfuric acid liquid are just called sulfuric acid. But here, if we look at a condensator, rotary condensator, here we have where you can convert the Mekanism gas and whatnot. You can change it back and forth between gas and liquid. But basically what this all comes down to is that unfortunately I did not have a sulfuric acid shortcut through nuclear craft, so I had to go through the whole rigmarole with making Mekanism sulfuric acid. So that takes us to the chemical oxidizer. You put sulfur in here, and it turns it into gaseous sulfur dioxide. You also need to make some oxygen, I believe is what we were looking for here. And then we go over to a chemical infuser, and this takes oxygen from the electrolytic separator, which is turning water into hydrogen and oxygen. And then we are taking that oxygen. Let's go ahead and throw some sulfur in there. I think we're going to need some more anyway. That way I can make sure I'm not misspeaking by saying the wrong thing. Alright, so sulfur in there. Alright, so now that's generating sulfur dioxide gas, and we can see that coming over here into the chemical infuser. And then that, once it has enough of it, I think it's pumping out too fast. That is going to make sulfur trioxide. So it's like nuclear craft in that you're taking sulfur dioxide and then adding in more oxygen to it to make it sulfur trioxide. And then water vapor and sulfur trioxide is going to make your sulfuric acid. And now this is still in a gaseous form. And then that's going to go over to here, sulfuric acid. And here's where we put our ore in. And then that turns into a slurry of ore stuff. Let's actually go ahead and just do some. What's the other crystal we need? I think it's gold crystals. Yeah, gold crystals. So let's go grab some gold ore. And we don't have any gold ore. Yep, here's some. We don't need a ton of these crystals, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to be necessary for me to go through the whole ore quintupling, or, you know, the massive ore processing that you can do in Mekanism. I think we're just probably going to need a few of these. So the sulfuric acid, this is gaseous sulfuric acid, and gold ore is going to make, or actually no, that's liquid now. That's going to make us some gold slurry. And now we are washing the gold slurry with water. And then that is going to make us clean gold slurry. And then the chemical crystallizer is going to turn that into gold crystals. So that's the whole thing. You take sulfur, turn it into gaseous sulfur dioxide. Then you take water and turn it into oxygen. You mix the gaseous oxygen and the gaseous sulfur dioxide to make sulfur trioxide. You mix that with some water vapor to get sulfuric acid. Now we're into a liquid. And then you put your ore in that sulfur acid. Let's just throw some more in there, what the heck. And then that gives you a gold slurry. And then you wash that gold slurry in water. And then you crystallize the clean gold slurry into gold crystals. And when I talk about the pain in the butt of linking these up because of their sidedness, probably the chemical infusers are the worst, because they are very hardwired to want this gas through. If you set it down, like if I set it down here and I'm facing it, it's going to want, actually we should be able to see, if I pull out something that lets us see through my stuff here. So this chemical fuser is now facing me, and what it wants is it wants a gas tube coming in the left side for oxygen. So that is this one coming from our electrolytic separator. And then it wants a gas tube coming in from the right side with the carbon dioxide. So you can sort of see we have that running back around over to here. So our wiring gets a little crazed here, or piping I guess would be a better term. So we have to come all the way around the back over to here to get that. And then it's, whoops, did not mean to do that. And did not mean to do that. All right. And then the product, which in this case is going to be the sulfur trioxide gas, it wants to come out the front. And then power through the bottom. So basically it's not easy to do like a lot of these other machines, even the other Mekanism machines that are more this style, where you can control all of its sidedness through an interface here. This one, it has particular singular ways in which it wants you to hook everything up. This gas through the left, this gas through the right, this gas out the front. And now when we come over to this guy, again, I have to sort of switch things around. So now I've got this gas coming through the left, this gas coming through the right, and then this gas going out the front. So to do that, I've now rotated it. So instead of facing out into the room here, this chemical infuser is facing here, so that I can pump the finished product, the sulfuric acid, directly into this machine. But yeah, so that's sort of the only real headache from all of this. As you can see, it's turning the wiring into a bit of a mess. So we've got wiring coming along this way. We've got sometimes water coming in the back, sometimes water coming in the top, depending on the machine. Yeah, it's all sort of a bit of a mess. But we got it all wired, and we now have lots of gold crystals, way more than we need. All right. And I already made a Mekanism crystal, so if we throw those and those in there, we don't need that anymore. Put our things up. So now we should have everything we need for this. So basically we've got 4 gold crystals, we've got an osmium crystal, we've got a ring of dispersion. The thruster was easy to make, so boom. Angel ring for creative flight mode. And quest completed, angel ring, cool. That should be worth something. So this quest was actually for doing the electrolytic separator. Get some arrows, which we really don't need. And then here is the angel ring. And we're getting an undying heart, which I think we actually need for some quest or other. We get another unclaimed black market container, a random fan, and some more coins. And then in our black market container, we get a cookie jar. Alright, so nothing too exciting there. Put that away and that away and that away, except for the undying heart. I think we have to use that. All attacks sweep target and their damage bypasses any armor. Well, that sounds sort of good. Yes, I think this is one of the epic weapons we need to make. I think we need to make some of this stuff for certain quests. Oh, and we're supposed to have one to fulfill some quest. We must not have met the prerequisites for that quest yet. Let's see where that is. Undying Heart. So we first need a potion of fission, which you can buy for 500 credits. I should probably start buying something. I have tons of cash, which I'm probably never going to spend. Or you can craft it by brewing a hyphae, which I believe we do have some of those. Yeah, I've got a couple of those that I got as drops off of Fish's Undead Rising monsters. And I may have more in my mob farm, I'm not sure. So I'll look into that. We can start on whatever that quest tree is. We can make the potion, and then we have the Undying Heart. We could summon a special pet, whatever that is. We have one of these potions, so we can use that on a cow. This is one of the mutant lava potions that we got as a reward. So we have a lot of this junk. We just want to make sure we do it in the right order, because we don't have lots of each component. So I'll look into that. Maybe we can go through that some other time. But right now, I even have enough grid power. Yes, uses 32 grid power. How much grid power am I? Oh, wait, let's, if we put this away, there we go. Now we only were using 1 grid power or whatever. Do we have it? Yes, we have it. Okay, good. Things are working. I thought I had enough grid power, but for some reason I wasn't sure what it was doing. Okay, there. Now it's registering well. That says we're using 32 out of 36, and we can now hover, which is the joy of creative flight and the angel ring. So that is beautiful. And I am going to go ahead and keep the squid ring on me, because I don't think creative flight works in the Twilight Forest. So when we go back there, we're going to want to continue to use the Ring of the Flying Squid and Hang Glider to sort of give us close enough to flight in a zone where flight doesn't supposedly work. Okay, there you go. Cool. So, we are in business, and now, I could have probably taken the End Dragon some time ago on foot, but it's always easier to do when you have creative flight. So we could go do that. We should probably kill the Wither a few times. So I have stuff on me for that. Let's maybe come down here. Oh, look at that flight. Where's a good place to do this? Yeah, let's just do it here. This should be pretty easy, I assume, unless it's been buffed in a way that I'm unaware of in this mod pack. But we're going to throw down some soul sand. And then it's charging up. And then we one-shot it. Hey, we got an enchanted voodoo puppet that will prevent us from dying of burning. So that's sort of cool. So we got some wither ash. We got a heart of gold, which I think is just acts like a health potion. Nether star, which is why we did this. So yeah, let's do this a couple more times. I was gonna set up an actual wither builder and make a wither farm, but to be honest, I don't see that we're gonna need a ton of withers or a ton of nether stars. So we're probably just going to do this several times. Darkens charm, removes blindness. Alright. So I'm going to do this a few more times, and then we will, just to see if there's any drops that I'm unaware of that I might want. But we'll get us at least a few nether stars to get us going on a few recipes that we might need them for. Do it one more time on camera just to see if he drops anything else new and interesting. Withering Soul. Basically, so that's needed for the Nether Star Crux if we want to grow Nether Star Crux with mystical aggreditions. But again, I don't think we actually need that many of them. Old quiver, no. Alright, so basically I think all we're really doing this for is nether stars. So if we take a look at that, we could make a beacon, we could make a dragon egg mill once we go get a dragon egg. I think this might be necessary for some quest, I seem to remember. So we might need to make one of those. So there's one there. Don't probably need to make most of this stuff. Just sort of looking at the uses of it all. I haven't looked through, you know, all the quest stuff that we need to do. Shape card with silk quarry. A pufferfish pet. Ooh, I might make a wither pet. You'll see this is up in my favorite things. Damage still heals you, so you actually get healed by taking damage. And you're immune to wither effect. And you can actually shoot those wither skulls if you right click or whatever, and if you feed it soul sand. That's sort of a cool pet. Mostly just because I'm already sort of invincible, but if damage dealt heals me, that would make me even more invincible. So that would be cool. Don't know if we need a miniature black hole for anything. But the bottom line is there's just not a ton of stuff that we're probably going to end up doing with nether crystals, so I'm probably not going to bother. We've got plenty of mending books for my fishing. I think I turned that off, but we could go take a look at that. I did hook up some fishing apparatus a while back that I don't think I ever showed you guys. And I think I turned it off because it was filling things up way too fast and spewing junk everywhere. But yeah, I've got a Luck of the Sea 5, Lure 3, Mending, Unbreaking 3, Holy Fishing Rod in there that I got from some chest or something. The Automatic Fishing Net, which if we mouse over that, that is from Cyclic. It takes power and you put a fishing rod in it and it just fishes and it fills this up. And when this is full, it just starts spraying stuff into the world, which is always sort of a bad situation because if you have like a couple hundred things here, you'll start lagging like crazy because of all of the loose items just lying around. So I had it poured out to here. If we go ahead and turn this back on, So basically this hertz is just the frequency at which it tries to fish. So I think the smaller the better, I would guess. I haven't really paid attention. But if we accelerate this bad boy, we can probably see something going on. And there you go. So it's pulling stuff in. And luck of the C5 means that it's got a good chance of pulling in stuff other than fish, like magic fishing rods or magic bows, lots of magic bows, or enchantment books, or what have you. I was getting a lot of iron rings from Dungeon Tactics. I looked into those. Basically, you can activate them somehow and then hold them in these first four things here. These four slots, if we come out of here and go look here, there are sort of ghost rings in these first four slots. But I think when you activate them and hold them there, you can get the powers of the ring. But it also then consumes hunger when it's active. So for instance, this one is inactive. If we put it in one of those slots and made it active, I'm not exactly sure how you do that. Maybe you click on it or whatever. It would suck up hunger and satiety, but then it would give us speed boost 1. Now I did, when I filled this up earlier, when I just turned this on and let it run for quite a while, I did get some interesting rings. There was a ring that gave like gills for water breathing, and night vision and something else. It was a pretty cool ring, which is why I looked things up. But I just didn't need any of the ring benefits enough to burn through food faster. But anyway, the reason I bring this up is because it's a good way to get mending. So you will occasionally get fishing rods. Speed this up again. You will occasionally get magic fishing rods or magic bows, or even sometimes enchantment books with mending on them. So that's Unbreaking 3 and Soulbound, Unbreaking 3, Speed Boost 3 book, Insight 3, get lots of these sort of potion fish. There's Tombstone Soulbound. Anyway, when I filled this up, I had, I think, 1 book of mending and 2 or 3 items with mending on them that I could then strip those off using a machine that pulls off enchantments. Anyway, it's just a good way. This thing isn't that hard to make. If we look up here, it's basically a puffer fish or a clownfish with some chests and some cobwebs. So it's actually really easy to make, but I don't think it's taking that much power. It's only taking 25 RF per tick. So this can be a good early way to get food. Basically, I think you might have to silk touch the cobwebs or get them out of chests. But basically, as soon as you have cobwebs and a little bit of power, this can be a good way to get yourself some enchantments and whatnot. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this back off because I don't really need anything coming out of it right at the moment. And it fills up pretty fast. Here's one of those rings with jump boost on it. And of course a wide variety of fish, which is handy if you haven't leveled up your unique foods. There's lots of fish here that you can try eating. Alright, so there's fishing. Oh boy, creative flight, yay. And now what else was I going to talk about? So the other things we really need to do are now we have plenty of power probably to kick off our nuclear craft fusion reactor. So we could do that. Let me pause here, see how much runtime we have left. I always get carried away babbling and repeating myself over and over, so I can't remember exactly. Oops, I flew over my pressure plate instead of closing my door. So I can't remember what we've done, but we can go over and start setting up our nuclear craft fusion reactor. So that could be fun. We could go to the end. That would probably be pretty fast. You saw how well my combination of this bow, a Power 5 Ender bow, with more importantly the leveled up perks and the astral sorcery perks. That does an awful lot of damage. I have an awful lot of bonus projectile damage and crit damage. So I'm going to pause here, check how much runtime we have left, and then we'll either go to the end or we'll start setting up the nuclear craft reactor. Be right back. Alright, so we're about halfway through the episode, so I decided I'd sort of like to keep the nuclear craft reactor all in one episode. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a monument and go to the end and whoop the Ender Dragon. So I think we have some sort of reusable Ender Eye for finding strongholds. I've never used one of these, but that sounds exactly like what we want to do. So let's go test this out. Let's sleep first. Alright, we'll get airborne. So usually what you do is you have, like, you know, several of these. Oh, I better bring some normal Eyes of Ender, because I think we're going to need some of those to activate the portal. So let's make some of those. I can't remember. I think I need to throw an Ender Pearl through a gate. I could always just whoop some Endermen there, but we'll bring a few Ender Pearls just in case too. Alright, so usually what you're doing is when you're looking for an ocean stronghold and a portal to the, or a stronghold and the portal to the end, is you throw an Eye of Ender and it sort of flies off into space when you right click on it. And then the direction it goes is the direction towards the closest stronghold. But let's see what happens if we do this. I did not see where it went. Aha, there it goes. It's not going very far. That seems weird. So usually what happens when this works, let's try the, not one of these, but one of these. Alright, so now that's going off in this direction, and then sometimes you can catch them, and sometimes you'll break them. It's not going very far. I wonder if we're very close to a stronghold. Does not seem to be going very far, but usually when you get near it or above it, when you throw it, it'll actually go down towards the ground, and that's when you know you're above one. Let's see what happens if we come out here a ways. It's been a while since I did this. Maybe we just sort of need to go in the direction it points and then throw it again. Yeah, that's right. I remember now. So let's go back to using our reusable one, and we will skirt around the nuclear craft wasteland there. And throw this and see if it's still heading in this direction-ish. It is. So we'll zoom on a bit. Oh, and now it's going back behind us. It generally likes to be under somewhere that is difficult. So I expect it to be under a nuclear wasteland or in a deep ocean or, you know, something like that. But it might be under this oil spill. Alright, so I'm guessing it's probably down from about here. So now, let's get rid of some of those worms before they bother us. And because I like to cheese it, let's go ahead and get out a cave illuminator here. And let's go ahead and oops, I don't want to use that. Let's go ahead and throw one of these down here. And then let me go ahead and make a spot here so that I remember where we are. We've got a waypoint. Turn that off. And I'm going to pause here and give this a moment to light stuff up that's underground. Basically what we're trying to do here is... and we won't know until we go down there a bit. But if there is a stronghold under there, there's going to be, you know, monsters and spawners and craziness and who knows what all is going to go on down there. So I might as well get some light on the situation and minimize our hassle for moving through that. So I'm going to pause here and go get a drink while this sort of takes a little time to light up the hopefully stronghold below us. And this was suspiciously close to our base. Usually end up much further away and usually under an ocean or some other annoying thing. But we shall see what's there. Yes, our base is here, so that was pretty darn close. Anyway, I'm going to pause here and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so I've given myself a little time here to let the cave illuminator do its thing while I went and got a drink. And we should be about ready to go down there. Now, one thing I did notice was that if you look down in this corner, it's currently at 32, well, 8.2. Basically, we're getting some microrads per tick. So if we look at the bar above that is currently empty, that represents 1,000 rads, which you start taking debuffs when you get, I don't know, maybe a third of the way through that. We have a Geiger counter in our bobble slot here, so that's where we're getting that information. And I believe it said in the config that strongholds do have some radioactivity, and so that's probably why it's elevated here, which is another good sign that our solid Ender eye is not betraying us. So let's go ahead and start digging down. And check our map here and see if we can, if you get away from the path to the sunlight a bit, that should turn dark and we should be able to see some of the stuff below us. And we definitely got something going on here. That is presumably a stronghold. So we'll let the map update a bit. It's nice, should be nice and lit up. We got one of those, whatever that is. And let's keep on going down, see what we see. And boom, here we go. We are in a stronghold. There's a haunted tool. Alright, so not probably too worried about most of the treasure here. We're going to look around a bit, but see what kind of things we get. But mostly we just want to sort of get right to it. So if we take a look at the map, sometimes you can tell where the portal room is. I don't see anything that really looks like it. This looks like the library room, which has a couple chests in it. So let's go ahead and go back that direction. So here's the library room. Should be a couple chests in here. Clear out some of this mess. Here's one of them. Ooh, an astral diamond. So that's actually pretty darn useful. That is something that we can trade for high-end electro blob stuff with the wizard NPCs. Some scrolls. Monastic bee. We'll get that just in case I need it at some point. I don't think I need most of the rest of that. So now the other book is probably over here somewhere. Or I mean the other chest. Or is upstairs over here somewhere, maybe. Oh, there's something. A shepherd crate that gave us some colored wools. Interesting. Go ahead and, whoops, let's go ahead and put some of this stuff away. Probably don't need that anymore. Alright, so there's the other chest, the one that's upstairs. I'm used to, so we don't really need that, but that's a good thing to get. Inventory upgrade. An evil pumpkin, we've got one of those. Brass ingots. Ancient tome, a feather falling 4. I might pick that up just in case. Nuclear craft, blah blah blah. Advanced machine frame, I'm not sure if I'll ever need that. Another monastic drone. In case I ever get into bees. Alright, so now let's go find the portal. So we want to look at the map here. Guessing it might be below us. So we might just have to go down and see what we find. Where's that door? Well, here's some down. And it's also possible that that the stronghold has been destroyed and isn't here due to this ravine coming through the middle of the dungeon. Alright, so now let's take a look at the map here. Aha, that looks like the room. So basically, there's like the inner portal room has a little bit of lava in each corner as you come into it. It has a pool of lava surrounded by little sockets for putting Ender, Eyes of Ender in, I believe, to activate it. So it is just a little north of us. North, north, north. And there may not be an actual door. But I don't know that I necessarily have the patience to deal with non-doors. So there we go. And there's the lava. That's a silverfish spawner. Alright, let's get over here, and there we go. What do we got over here? An Icarus ring. Alright, I'll take that, see what that does later. A backfire cannon with infinity. That might be interesting. Mysterious token fragment. I don't think we need that. I think I got a bunch from my mob farm, but I'll take it. We might still get around to rats in this playthrough. And that, and that. Some mana steel. Scroll of muffle. Alright. Let's get this show on the road. So I generally, just for my own comfort, like to cover up that lava so that I don't fall into it, because I can be that clumsy sometimes. Alright, and then we are going to, if I recall correctly, put ender pearls into these end portal sockets. Ooh, boom, the end portal is now active. And yeah, let's not monkey around. Let's go ahead and go for it. Unless they have jacked up the difficulty on the Ender Dragon considerably, we should be good to go. So we'll just do the usual thing of blowing up the... and I can't shoot through that cage, so with my laser gun I usually just shoot through that. Alright, so we got a couple of cages to deal with. Looks like it's going down there for a bit of a rest. Doesn't break my heart. Alright, so he should be vulnerable now. One thing I want to do, I don't think I need a lot of Dragon's Breath, but I did bring, oops, and I'm in it. Taking a bit of damage from being in it. I did bring some glass bottles. I'm going to click, whoa, I'm going to try and click through this to collect some of it. Did I successfully get any? No, I did not. Hello. Don't seem to be taking much damage. We do sort of want to get him to shoot fire again. He's upsetting all the Endermen, which doesn't break my heart. Ooh, what are those? Endermites. Alright, so here we have some thing. You need to sort of click through it. as opposed to clicking the ground beneath it. So let's see if we can get some. Alright, so there, we clicked through it and we got some Dragon's Breath. I don't think we actually are going to need that, maybe one or two of them for something. But now we can pretty much just whoop our guy here, and we two-shotted him, so that's good. Yes, I know, you're upset. I had the gall to look at you, so you're all upset. So around here somewhere, there should be lots of experience. Not sure if it drops anything else that we should worry about. Seems to be plenty of ore in the end in this mod pack, so I might have to come back here and mine some stuff. What's that? Biotite ore. Have to look around and see if there's any of this that we need. And now we want to grab that dragon egg. I'm not a fan of the Enderman with tubas. That sort of disturbs me and is a little wacky. So basically we want to whack that and it should fall off and land somewhere. And see if I have a torch on me. I do. If not, there are ones there. But now to be able to pick this up, we sort of need to loosen it up a bit. So we're going to go dig under it. And we're going to throw down a torch. Not a book, a torch. And then we're going to break this so that the egg falls on it, and then boom, we're able to pick it up. And now we have a dragon egg. Oh, and that's the thing I wanted. I actually wanted dragon scales. I was sort of expecting to get some dragon scales from the Ender Dragon, but I'm not seeing. Okay, that's sort of creepy. Are there little baby Endermen running around? That's sort of unnecessary. But yeah, I was sort of hoping to get some scales. We might have to kill him again to get some scales. What's that? Also some premium essence. Aha, there we go. Yay. So there we got 8 dragon scales. Good, good. And we got Forja Premium. Wonderful. Oh, what? Leave me alone. Alright, did we get all the junk? Oh, there's an elytra or something. Why am I not picking that up? I don't think I need it, but it bugs me that I'm not picking it up. How strange. Alright, well, we got some Supremium, which is good. We got some Dragon Scales, which is good. So this must be, I think we picked up the Elytra, and this just must be a ghost. Either that or it dropped 2 Elytra, which would be sort of weird. And gold ore. Oh, and it drops bars. Nice. Yeah, I might have to come back here and do some mining. Alright, well there we go. We've done that, and the only other thing we could do is we could find a portal. Is there just the one? I think there's just the one. It's way out here. What's that? Obsidiorite block. Interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my building gadget. And just make myself a little platform to land on here. Boink. And now basically I'm going to get out an ender pearl. Where would I have an ender pearl? That would be in my dank null. And now I should be able to throw an ender pearl through here and teleport out to the outer islands. And so now here, and those battle towers spawn here. How interesting. Out here, what we want to do is look around for an in-city. You can also pick up some of these end bees if we wanted to. I'm not sure if we need them or not. But I do want to look around and find an in-city real quick. Probably wouldn't hurt to pick up some of this chorus fruit. Don't know if we need it for anything, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I didn't see any quests go off, so there's that. In-city, where would an in-city be? Oh, there is something I want here. I want some shulker shells so that I can make the more advanced big item filter. So there's something out here I definitely want. Shulker shells from the little pink box guys that are in the in-cities. But sometimes it can be a pain to find a in-city. This is another reason why I haven't bothered getting around to here until I, oh, there's one. Until I have creative flight. It just makes everything so much easier. Hey, there's one. Doink. So their little shulker bullets that they shoot at you cause you to float up into the air, which is not too big of a deal when you have creative flight. You can swipe at those bullets or destroy them. But if you have creative flight, it's usually not that big of a deal, so you can just sort of ignore them for the most part. Oops, and I am not picking things up. There we go. Put some of this away. The dragon scales, I want that if I want to grow dragon eggs for some reason. I think those dragon scales will make a dragon egg crux or whatever that you can put underneath your dragon eggs in a cloche. So that's why I was interested in those. I don't suppose I left any more. I probably left some of those outside if my inventory was full. Where's the roof? Open up. I said open up, sir. Thank you. No, my loots. So not only do I miss my laser gun from other mod packs, but for the ability to shoot through their shells and also to shoot them through the walls. But I also miss it because I usually make it so that any loot I get from them goes directly into a loot chest. So I don't have to worry about loot falling. So I'm a little out of practice with worrying about that. Alright, well, you get the gist. Oh, hey, there's a dude. Zonk. Stop with the shooting. And we got some chests. We can see if there's anything interesting in here. Can always use more of those, probably. An energy flow circuit. Chrome Ignite. Haven't really gotten into Tech Reborn. Not sure if we will at this late stage of this playthrough. An empty spawn egg. I'm not sure what those are used for. There we go, a soul vial with a shulker. So now I can actually just sort of set this up in a powered spawner if I decide I need a bunch of shulker shells. Purifying elixir removes curses when consumed. Yes, please. Enchanted scroll of preservation. Sure, I'll take that. A radiant crystal. Yes. Take some of those, take some of that. Alrighty, well, we are probably up against our deadline here of trying to keep this into a reasonable amount of time. So let's go ahead and call it. And see, how many shulker shells do I really want? I don't care about shulker boxes so much. A rainbow cannon. Fire a randomly colored beam. Alright. This is the one I want. Advanced big item filter. It uses 2 per. Filters even more items with advanced configuration options. So that can be handy. So I got enough for a couple of those. Probably don't need to filter too much anymore, and I've sort of got my the place where I really would have liked to have had that would have been on my mob farm, but I've sort of got my mob farm under control with lots of trash cans and boxes and smaller filters, so I'm not too worried about that. Is there anything else I'm interested in? Witch's Oven, dimensional shards for bewitchment. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment this run through. 100% sure I'm going to get into bewitchment Alright, for now I think we'll call that good. I can always come back and get more later. Have I been in here? Nope. Open up. Say, ah! There's another shulker shell down there. Unfortunately, I'm floating from having shulker effect on me. Hey, buddy. Alright, what do we got in here? I could use one of these, probably. I'm going to land so it breaks faster. And what do we got here? Anything interesting? More blood diamonds with Curse of Vanishing, whatever that is. A fairly mediocre capacitor for Ender IO. Protection 5, I could probably put that to use if I make a different type of armor. Bat's wings, I don't think I need that. Alrighty, we are done. So there you have it. Do I need any end rods? Uses halitosis generator, nope. Quantum quarry. Actuator, maybe. Antenna, nope. Iron rod, probably not. Nope. Alright, so we'll pick up just a couple of those just in case. And that's going to do it. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Next episode, we are going to set up our nuclear craft reactor, and then we should have all the power. Empty spawn egg. I'm not sure what to do with that. I'll have to look that up. And let's see, is there anything else? I think that pretty much covers it. I might have to see if there were some ores I was unfamiliar with. We had, what was it, biotite ore? Oops. So it makes ender biotite dust or ender biotite. The uses for ender biotite are weather sensor, a redstone randomizer, and various other weird little things. You can make splash water bottles. Bewitchment. I sort of want to try that out, but I might save that for a different playthrough and a different mod pack, mostly just because I think I've sort of gotten to the point where I don't really need anything particularly from Bewitchment. The ones I really sort of got into, the new ones I sort of got into this time were basically Electroblobs, and I guess that was the main one that I played around with, and I do really like Electroblobs. Wizardry. I like my wand. Alright, I'm babbling. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we want to do here, and I don't think there is. So let's head back. Unfortunately, that's pretty close to my base, so it's not too hard to get back there if we want to. And next time I go there, I'll remember to take like a little optical glass tool, like a battle sign there, and I'll bind myself a bind spot there so I can just teleport back whenever I want. I might go back there and set up the digital miner, which has been just sitting idle for quite some time. Set up the digital miner and see what all we pull out of there. In particular, I am interested in gold because I am running a bit low on gold. And I like the fact that the Ender Gold gave you bars. That was sort of cool. But with that, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.